before the world validates you, before the opinions of others weigh in, and before life gives you a sign. There is one place you must always go first, within. Because all clarity, all healing, all confidence begins when you learn to see yourself clearly, kindly, and truthfully. You are the foundation of your reality. Everything you see, feel, and experience in life begins with you. It begins with your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, and how you choose to perceive the world around you. When you deeply understand this, you begin to reclaim your power, not by trying to change everything outside of you, but by gently and lovingly turning inward. So many of us spend our lives trying to control what is external. We try to fix relationships, chase approval, change our appearance, work harder, be better, do more. We think, if only this person would love me, then I'd feel whole. Or if I had more money, I'd finally feel secure. But what we often overlook is that none of these outer changes will bring lasting peace if we are still struggling with turmoil inside. Because your inner world creates your outer world. Always. When you see yourself as worthy, your actions change. You no longer settle for breadcrumbs of attention. You stop tolerating disrespect. You naturally attract people and situations that reflect back to you the worth you already feel. You don't have to force it. You don't have to prove it. You simply live from a place of inner knowing, and that knowing begins with how you see yourself, not with how others see you. If deep inside you feel undeserving, unloved, or not good enough, that belief will shape every experience you have. You might chase love that runs from you, stay in jobs that drain your spirit, or surround yourself with people who can't see your light, because a part of you can't see it either. That's why the most powerful healing doesn't come from others treating you better. It comes from you treating yourself better, speaking to yourself with kindness, honoring your boundaries, allowing yourself to be seen even if your voice shakes, choosing love over fear again and again. Think of your life like a garden. You are both the gardener and the soil. If you keep planting seeds of doubt, shame, or resentment, how can you expect a peaceful harvest? But when you begin to plant seeds of love, hope, and belief in yourself, something shifts. You may not see it right away, but over time, your outer life begins to mirror that inner transformation. The relationships around you begin to feel more supportive. The opportunities that once seemed out of reach begin to find you. Doors open, not because you forced them, but because you became aligned with the version of yourself that knew they were always meant. When you take full responsibility for your energy, without guilt, without shame, you stop being a victim of circumstances. You become the author of your life. That doesn't mean you won't face challenges, but it does mean you'll meet them with strength, grace, and resilience. You'll understand that how you respond is more important than what happens. And you'll begin to trust that every experience, even the difficult ones, is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more loving. You must also be willing to sit with yourself, to listen to the quiet whispers within. They will tell you what needs healing. They will reveal the fears you've buried. They will guide you back to your truth. But you can only hear them when you stop numbing, stop running, and start being present. And when you do, you'll discover something incredible. That beneath all the noise, you were never broken. You were simply out of alignment with the truth of who you are. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not the opinions of others. You are the consciousness that observes it all. And within you is the power to create again, to choose again, to believe in something greater for yourself. But it starts by believing in you. Not just when you succeed, but when you fail. Not just when you feel confident, but when you feel lost. Because even then, You are still worthy. You are still whole. You are the foundation of your reality. When that foundation is built on love, trust, and truth, everything that rests upon it becomes more stable. You stop chasing validation and start standing in your own light. You stop waiting to be rescued and start realizing you were the answer all along. So if life feels heavy, don't just look outward, look within. Ask yourself, what am I believing about myself that is shaping this experience? Then breathe, forgive, release, and choose again. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing to love yourself, willing to see yourself, willing to rise one step at a time. Because you are the beginning of every chapter you'll ever write, the author of your healing, the source of your strength, and the foundation of your beautiful unfolding reality. Don't wait for the mirror of others to show you who you are. The world is full of shifting opinions, passing judgments, and temporary approvals. If you base your worth on how others see you, you will forever be chasing a reflection that is never still. One day they'll praise you, the next they may criticize you. One moment you'll feel seen, the next you'll feel invisible. That kind of validation is fleeting, fragile, and often out of your control. True peace, true confidence, and true power come when you no longer need someone else to confirm what you already know about yourself. You're not here to fit into someone else's mold. You're not here to live up to the expectations of people who don't truly understand your heart. You are here to be yourself, authentically, unapologetically, and fully. But in order to do that, you must stop looking outward for your identity and begin the journey inward. You must learn to see yourself clearly with love and acceptance before you allow the world to influence your view. From a young age, many of us are taught to seek approval. We are praised when we behave a certain way and often ignored or rejected when we step outside those lines. Over time, we internalize the idea that love is conditional, that we must earn it by being agreeable, attractive, successful, or needed. We carry those beliefs into adulthood, hoping that if we do everything right, someone will finally see our value and choose us. But this kind of love is never secure because it is built on performance, not presence. When you constantly seek your worth in the eyes of others, you give away your power. You start to edit yourself. You downplay your feelings. You hide your truth. You say yes when your soul is screaming no. And little by little, you become disconnected from your own essence. You lose touch with the joy of simply being who you are. You become a version of yourself shaped by fear, not freedom. But there is another way. You can choose to turn away from the mirror of others and look within. You can choose to be the one who sees you, validates you, and honors you. You can choose to become your own safe place. And when you do, something beautiful happens. You stop chasing love and you start radiating it. You stop asking, do they see me? And start declaring, I see myself. That shift changes everything. You begin to walk differently. You speak with more certainty. You no longer shrink to make others comfortable. You no longer apologize for taking up space. You no longer tolerate being misunderstood as a reason to abandon your truth. You let people have their opinions, but you stop making them your truth. You realize that how others see you is often a reflection of them, not you. And even more powerfully, you begin to attract people and experiences that match your new vibration. Because when you stop seeking approval, you create space for authentic connection. You become magnetic, not because you are trying to be, but because you are being real. And in a world full of masks and performance, your honesty becomes a breath of fresh air. It's okay if not everyone understands you. It's okay if some people walk away when you start honoring yourself. Let them. Your worth is not up for debate. Your light does not need permission to shine. And your journey is not meant to be validated by everyone. It is meant to be lived by you. This path requires courage. It asks you to look at your own reflection with compassion. It asks you to forgive yourself, to believe in yourself, and to love yourself enough to stop waiting for someone else to do it first, because the truth is, no one else can give you what you refuse to give yourself. Start now. Start today. Speak kindly to yourself. Celebrate your small wins. Hold yourself through the hard days. Remind yourself that you are growing, learning, and becoming. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not unworthy of love. You are evolving. Don't wait for someone to finally see your value before you believe in it. Don't wait for someone to love you before you open your heart to yourself. Don't wait for someone to tell you you're enough. Tell yourself again and again until it becomes your truth. You are not a reflection of anyone else's opinion. You are not here to meet anyone else's expectations. You are here to be whole, to be free, and to be you. And that begins the moment you stop waiting for the mirror of others and start seeing yourself. Healing begins with honest vision, not with denial, not with blame, not with pretending things are fine when they're not. True healing starts the moment you decide to look at your life, your wounds, your patterns, and your pain with clarity and courage. It doesn't matter how long you've been hurting, how far off course you feel, or how broken things appear. What matters is your willingness to see yourself not as a victim, not as a problem, but as someone who is ready to grow, to feel, and to rise. So many of us go through life wearing emotional masks. We smile when we want to cry. We act strong when we feel fragile. We pretend to be okay because we think the world can't handle our truth. But the cost of pretending is heavy. It keeps us stuck. It keeps us disconnected from ourselves. And it keeps us repeating the same cycles, wondering why things never truly change. An honest vision requires stillness. It asks you to pause and listen, not to the noise around you, but to the quiet voice within you. That voice knows where it hurts. That voice knows where you've been silencing your needs, betraying your boundaries, or hiding your feelings. Healing can't happen until you stop numbing. It begins when you finally say, "This is what I feel. This is where it hurts, and I'm ready to face it." It's not about blaming yourself or others. It's about understanding. When you see your patterns clearly, you can break them. When you acknowledge the pain, you can release it. When you look at your fears with compassion, they start to lose their power over you. Avoiding the truth doesn't protect you. It prolongs your suffering. But facing it with love, that transforms you. Honest vision also means recognizing the lies you've told yourself. Maybe you've believed you're not enough. Maybe you've convinced yourself you deserve to be treated poorly. Maybe you've thought happiness is something you'll find only when others change. These beliefs are not facts. They're wounds speaking. And when you begin to question them, when you stop treating them as truth, healing begins. You can't heal what you won't face, and you can't change what you won't name. Maybe you've carried childhood pain into adult relationships. Maybe you've buried your needs to keep the peace. Maybe you've been so busy trying to survive that you forgot how to feel. All of it matters. All of it deserves your attention. Not judgment, just attention, just honesty. Healing is not always beautiful at first. Sometimes it means sitting with uncomfortable memories. Sometimes it means admitting I stayed too long, or I gave too much, or I didn't love myself enough. But this is not weakness. This is power. Because the moment you take responsibility for your part is the moment you reclaim your ability to choose differently. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to grow beyond the version of you that others got used to. You are allowed to evolve. But evolution requires truth. It requires shedding the false stories and outdated beliefs. It requires letting go of who you were pretending to be so you can step into who you truly are. There is no shame in needing healing. There is no shame in having wounds. What matters is your willingness to begin. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to fix everything overnight. You just need to start seeing yourself clearly with honesty and tenderness. The pain you felt has meaning. It's showing you where the light needs to enter. It's showing you where love is needed most, within. When you look honestly at your life, you'll begin to see what no longer serves you. You'll feel it in your body, in your emotions, in your spirit. You'll notice where you've been shrinking, tolerating, or avoiding. And from that awareness, change becomes possible. You can leave what's toxic. You can speak what's true. You can make new choices. Not because someone else told you to, but because your own soul is guiding you there. Healing is not a straight path. It's a spiral. You'll return to lessons you thought you'd already learned. You'll feel things again. But each time, you'll understand them more deeply. You'll move through them with more wisdom, with more grace. And each time you choose honesty over avoidance, you'll come home to yourself just a little more. You are not broken. You are not too far gone. You are becoming. And healing begins the moment you stop running, stop pretending, and start seeing. Seeing the pain, seeing the patterns, seeing the possibility. Because in that honest vision, you'll discover the most powerful truth of all. You are worthy of healing simply because you exist. Your inner vision creates outer results. What you hold in your mind, what you believe in your heart, what you picture with emotion and conviction, these things shape your reality more than circumstances ever could. The world around you is not fixed. It is a mirror reflecting your thoughts, your beliefs, and your expectations back to you. If you want to change your life, the first place to begin is within. Many people spend their lives trying to change their external circumstances, hoping that if they rearrange the outside, they'll finally feel peace, joy, or worthiness inside. But the truth is, outer change is always the result of inner transformation. You cannot create a life of abundance from a mind full of lack. You cannot build loving relationships if you don't believe you're worthy of love. You cannot step into success while secretly expecting failure. The world responds to your inner vision. What you repeatedly think and feel becomes the blueprint of your life. Think about the way you speak to yourself. Are your inner words filled with doubt, fear, or judgment, or are they words of hope, faith, and encouragement? Your inner dialogue matters because it plants seeds, and what you plant, you will eventually harvest. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not capable, not lucky, or not enough, those thoughts take root and create a lens through which you see everything. But when you speak to yourself with belief, when you hold a vision of your future with clarity and love, the universe begins to respond in kind. This is not just wishful thinking. It is energy. Every thought has a frequency. Every belief carries momentum. And when you consistently hold a vision, when you feel it, embody it, live as though it's already true, you start attracting opportunities, people, and experiences that match that vision. You're no longer chasing change. You're allowing it. Because the vibration you hold within naturally magnetizes your external life to match it. But to hold that inner vision, you must first silence the noise of fear and distraction. You must stop giving your power away to opinions, limitations, or past failures. The past does not define your future unless you keep repeating it in your mind. Every new moment offers a new chance to see things differently, to choose a new story, a new belief, a new identity. You are the artist of your life, and your mind is the canvas. What picture are you painting? Are you focused on what's missing, what's wrong, and what you fear? Or are you envisioning what's possible, what's beautiful, and what you desire? Your focus determines your frequency, and your frequency determines your reality. You do not need to see all the steps to move forward. You only need to see the next one clearly. Hold the vision. Feel the emotion of having it now. Let your imagination become more real than your doubt. When your inner world becomes saturated with the feeling of success, peace, love, or joy, then your outer world cannot help but reflect it. This is why daily inner work is so important. Visualization, affirmations, meditation, these aren't just feel-good habits. They are the tools that align your vibration. They help you reconnect with the truth of who you are and what you're capable of. When you begin the day with a clear inner vision, the world responds with clarity. When you speak life over your dreams, your energy shifts and life starts to move in your favor. But you must be consistent. The world may offer distractions. People may not believe in your vision. Fear may whisper in your ear. But none of that matters if you stay anchored in your inner knowing. The vision you hold is more powerful than the opinions you hear. The feeling you cultivate is stronger than the evidence of your past. Stay focused, stay grounded, stay faithful to what you know is possible. Your inner vision is your compass. It will guide you through uncertainty. It will keep you centered when things outside seem chaotic. And it will remind you again and again that you are not here to simply react to life. You are here to create it. You are not limited by your history. You are not trapped by your current circumstances. You are only limited by the vision you allow yourself to hold. Expand it, dream bigger. See yourself thriving, see yourself healed, see yourself joyful, peaceful, powerful, and free. The more vividly you can picture it, the more easily it becomes your reality. Your life is not determined by chance. It is shaped by choice. And that choice begins in your mind. Choose to see yourself as whole. Choose to believe in your path. Choose to hold a vision so strong, so loving, so unwavering that the world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match it. Because everything starts within. And your inner vision will always create your outer results. Comparison clouds your vision. It pulls you away from your own path, your own growth, and your own truth. The moment you begin measuring your life against someone else's, you start losing sight of who you really are. Instead of focusing on your unique journey, you begin chasing illusions, ideas of success, beauty, or worth that were never yours to begin with. Comparison doesn't motivate you. It diminishes you. It tells you that you are not enough, that you're behind, or that someone else's light somehow dims your own. But this is never the truth. So each person walks their own path, shaped by different lessons, different timing, and different gifts. You were not born to copy anyone. You were born to embody your own soul, your own rhythm, your own calling. When you compare, you blind yourself to the beauty of your own unfolding. You start questioning your pace, your purpose, and your progress. You forget how far you've come. You lose the joy in becoming, all because you're looking sideways instead of forward. Social media, the internet, and modern culture often make it easier to compare than to connect. You see curated highlights, filtered moments, and stories designed to impress. You don't see the doubt behind the smile, the pain behind the post, or the uncertainty behind the achievement. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, and it's not a fair comparison. It never will be. Comparison is a distraction. It takes your energy and directs it toward judgment of others and of yourself. Instead of celebrating someone else's success, you question your own. Instead of trusting your own timing, you rush into things that aren't right for you. And all the while, the inner voice that once guided you so clearly becomes drowned out by noise and doubt. You cannot be fully present for your life while wishing you were living someone else's. You cannot manifest your highest good while believing someone else already has it better. True power comes when you stay rooted in your own vision, when you trust your path enough to walk it without needing to explain, compare, or compete. Let others shine. Let them have their moment. Their light does not take away from yours. In fact, when someone else rises, it can be proof that rising is possible for all of us. Use their success as evidence, not a weapon against yourself. Comparison often begins in moments of insecurity. When you're tired, uncertain, or overwhelmed, it's easy to look outside for validation or answers, but that's when you must turn inward. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? What feels aligned for me? What is my soul guiding me toward? The answers won't come from watching others. They'll come from listening to yourself. There is no timeline for growth. There is no deadline for healing. You are not late. You are not failing. You are becoming. And becoming doesn't happen all at once. It happens quietly, consistently, and deeply. No one can do it for you. No one else's life can replace the beauty of your own transformation. You must be willing to slow down and return to yourself. Focus on what brings you joy. Nurture your own gifts. Cultivate gratitude for the life you are living right now. Because in this moment, yes, even with the questions, even with the mess, you are worthy. You are on the right path. And the more you stay true to your own energy, the more magnetic your life becomes. When you stop comparing, you start creating. When you stop measuring, you start manifesting. Because now your energy is no longer scattered, it is centered, focused, alive. You can use that energy to build something real, something lasting, something that reflects your truest self. Let go of the need to be ahead. Let go of the belief that someone else's success means there is less for you. Life is not a race. It's a journey of alignment, of remembering, of awakening to who you are again and again. You will bloom when it's your time. And no one else's timeline can change that. Your life is not meant to look like anyone else's. It's meant to feel right for you. So stop comparing, start trusting, come back to the wisdom inside you. Because your vision clears the moment you stop looking outside for answers and begin honoring what's already within you. Comparison clouds your vision, but presence brings clarity. Gratitude brings peace, and self-trust brings power. Keep walking. Keep believing. Your light is needed, and no one else can shine it but you. Choose loving eyes every day. This is a decision, a practice, and a way of life. How you look at yourself, how you see others, and how you interpret the world around you shapes everything. You are always seeing through a lens, and the lens you choose determines the reality you experience. When you look through eyes of judgment, fear, or comparison, the world becomes a place of resistance. But when you choose loving eyes, everything softens, everything opens. You begin to see truth, beauty, and potential, where before you only saw flaws, pain, or limitation. Loving eyes are not naive. They don't ignore problems or pretend everything is perfect. Loving eyes simply choose to focus on what's possible, not just what's present. They look beyond the surface and into the heart. They see with compassion, with patience, and with hope. They understand that everyone, including you, is doing the best they can with what they know in that moment. When you wake up each morning, you are given a choice. Will you look at yourself with kindness or criticism? Will you honor your growth or shame your imperfections? Will you encourage yourself to try again, or will you shrink beneath the weight of self-doubt? Choosing loving eyes begins here. With the way you meet your own reflection, most people are harder on themselves than anyone else ever could be. They replay mistakes, focus on shortcomings, and talk to themselves in ways they would never speak to a friend. But you are not here to criticize your way into healing. You are here to love yourself into wholeness. Loving eyes look in the mirror and say, I see you. I know it's been hard, but you're still here. You're growing, and that matters. From this place of gentleness, your energy shifts. When you choose loving eyes for yourself, you begin to extend them naturally to others. You stop needing to judge or compare because you've already accepted yourself. And from that space of inner peace, relationships begin to transform. You become less reactive and more understanding. You listen more deeply. You forgive more easily. Not because you condone harmful behavior, but because you no longer carry the burden of resentment. Loving eyes allow you to see the child in every adult, the one who's still learning, still healing, still trying to feel safe. You see past anger and recognize pain. You see beyond arrogance and notice insecurity. You begin to understand that most unkindness is a reflection of someone's internal suffering, not a measure of their true character. This doesn't mean you excuse harmful behavior or let go of boundaries. In fact, loving eyes often help you create even healthier boundaries because they allow you to act from clarity, not from reaction. When you see with love, you choose peace over drama. You choose understanding over attack. You choose what serves your growth, even when it means walking away. Loving eyes are especially needed when the world feels heavy, when things aren't going your way, when people disappoint you, when progress feels slow. These are the moments where your vision can become clouded by fear, frustration, or doubt. But these are also the moments where choosing love makes all the difference. You can look at setbacks as failures, or you can see them as lessons. You can view delays as rejection, or you can trust that life is protecting you from something you can't yet see. Each day gives you chances to practice. When someone cuts you off in traffic, when a loved one says something hurtful, when you forget something important, will you respond with anger, or will you pause and ask yourself what love would say? Sometimes love says, it's okay, you're human. Sometimes it says, speak your truth. Sometimes it says, let it go. Choosing loving eyes doesn't make life perfect, but it makes life lighter. It helps you breathe deeper. It reminds you that grace is always an option, and it gives you the power to bring light into places that have long lived in shadow. The more you practice this way of seeing, the more natural it becomes. You begin to look at your past with gentleness instead of regret. You see your future with hope instead of anxiety. And you walk through the present moment with a sense of openness, ready to receive, to grow, and to love. You will not always get it right. There will be days when judgment sneaks in, when fear takes over, or when old wounds cloud your vision. But even then, you can choose again. You can return to love. You can soften your gaze, take a deep breath, and decide to see through loving eyes once more. Because how you see is how you live. And when you choose loving eyes every day, you don't just change your vision, you change your life.